My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to the Bazaar. It's time to go into the free ranked run for the day on Vanessa. We've gone pearl hunting recently, which is to say we were hunting to take down the pearls. This time, probably hunting to collect them. See what we get. Piranha, every 5 seconds deal 10 damage, deals double critical damage. There's coral armor. Every 5 seconds, 20 shield. When you buy another aquatic item, it gets 10 more shield. Jellyfish. When you use an adjacent aquatic item, this gets haste for 2 seconds. Realistically, this doesn't need to be silver. It just needs to see haste triggers occur to be as useful as it tends to be, which is for the sake of speeding up the pufferfish. And then finally, the star chart. Adjacent items have 15% additional crit chance, and they reduce their cooldowns by 15%. I really like the idea of going star chart early and then trying to find a weapon to work with it, but... Is that a thing anymore? Let's see. Ooh, middle, you sell medium items. There's a lot of medium-shaped weapons.
I'm pretty laid back.
Langxian? Every 10 seconds, deal 25 damage. If you win a fight with Langxian in play, it gains 25 additional damage. So this is like the reverse. Usually you have a silver Langxian, and then you have a bronze star chart, decreasing its cooldown by 10%.
Oh, delivery's free.
Let's see if you can actually afford to buy a Langxian in this meta. I mean, realistically, yes, I can take out the Kyber drone, right? 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 It says if you win a fight with Langxian in play. The Kyber drone can get annoying. I don't know if I win against the Kyber drone, but the Kyber drone does have a Langxian on board. So, like, every 8.5 seconds, or what we get, 75 damage to them by the time they get about 25 seconds into the fight. I need to have it on board
Sails down and
in order for it to level up. So, unfortunately, they have Stinger, which gets to slow my item for a second every 9 seconds, which is going to slow down the resolution of my Langxian. Unfortunately. Ooh, and also when they slow, they increase the damage of one of their weapons by +5 for the fight. They gave it to the Stinger immediately, which means they're going to be getting extra lifesteal for the rest of the combat. That crit was very useful, though. One more of those and we won't even have to worry about the rest of this fight. That said, I think we're also now probably on the safe side. Oh, I would love to see a Langxian pick up here. Come on. Give me bronze Langxian after this. Sorry, give me... I guess it is the bronze Langxian of the enemy, but give me silver Langxian. Actually, we did it! We built our own silver Langxian! They said it couldn't be done! We've got an opening, folks. Racetrack, get a haste item. Something that gave haste to another item would be nice, but there's not many of those that are specifically going to be capable of targeting Langxian. Instead, there's going to be a lot of things like jellyfish, which cause themselves haste triggers when other things occur. I think it's probably a better idea for us to either go to the strange mushroom for picking up an experience or a skill. I'm going to take an experience because with an experience, I still have the ability to get one more experience and level up before the next. We don't find that, but we do find Finn's Big Bite for 12.5 HP and 5 regen. Now, unfortunately, a huge amount swings on whether or not I win this fight, and whether or not I win this fight entirely depends on what items the enemy got in their opening. Ooh, a 2 ammunition bolus with no reload? Yeah, that's not going to do it. We're going to be winning this fight. I mean, the enemy has been diabolically slowing down my Langxian here, but all it needs to do is contact them 3 times for it to be an easy win.
next time. time, boys.
And that's another 50 damage for it. All right, locking it in. We're going with it. So the single next most important thing that I can find will be a silencer for further cooldown reduction of Langxian, because at 8.5 seconds, even with 1.5 seconds off of it from the star chart, it's just very, very slow.
Another empty chest, waiting to be filled.
Left eye, your leftmost item has 8% crit chance, or 2 different kinds of burn modifier. I'm going to take the left eye.
There are greater trainers than me. I'm just getting you ready for them.
A quarter chance for it to crit. That's not bad. Jungle Ruins, that's experience or a small item here. We could pick up a haste item, but realistically, I think seeing a broad shop like JJ, especially with a cheap roll, reroll like 2, is definitely the kind of thing we're going to want to look for here. Outer Flask. Admittedly, I like picking up an early Powder Flask because it gives you the ability to exploit the absolute hell out of an energy potion that you might be able to find later on.
I get it. You're busy. Enjoy your purchase.
Cove. Sell an item, this gains 1 value. Oh, there's also Seaweed. When you use an aquatic item, this gains 3 heal for the fight. And then Cove? I can actually see that. Let's take Seaweed and Cove.
Make a sale. Sad to say goodbye.
Next time I level up, I can easily field a... Ooh, and we got a little bit closer to that level up here. Next time I level up, I can field the Cove. That'll be pretty powerful. 8.5 seconds, Langxian. Is that going to be enough to get through the Rogue Scrapper? It's 5.1 seconds for Seaweed. So the enemy is heal. The main difference here is the Rogue Scrapper is going to have more max HP than me. They have the ability to shield, but realistically, they don't end up shielding that much. It's just they heal every 60 seconds. I think I end up ahead with Langxian. And I think the Seaweed scaling its own healing is going to be important for this fight. It's really important we win all of these early fights for the sake of the scaling of the Langxian, which is why I'm going to be pretty annoying about trying to make sure that I win them. That said, I feel pretty safe in this one, especially with the quarter crit chance on Langxian. It's 23%, right? Almost a quarter. But if it ever crits, I'm already comfortably safe. Even if it doesn't, I'm pretty sure I'm comfortably safe. The main problem is that it can't hit one more time now. That's the max it gets. Woo! We just got him!
Pathetic, as spineless as a jellyfish. Ah, place to store the rest of the tyrant's gold.
2 gold and a bronze tier loot item. I wonder if I'm going to have difficulty turning down any bronze tier loot item, or rather any loot items, because a insect wing for reducing 3% cooldown from our leftmost item is so impactful. 5% crit chance is also really big here. And he sells small items. Admittedly, there are many things that I would like to see there. So Cove is realistically just here in order to scale the healing that the Seaweed is giving us consistently. And just to try and extend our life in fights. Scrap salvage. There are bronze tier scraps. So I'm not sure I want to go for that. Strange mushroom or Andy's small items.
I would never debase my wares by haggling.
While the silencer is still in the pool, I feel like I still have to go to this shop. Honing steel for giving the weapon the right of it, plus 5 damage to the fight. Hand axe and shoe blade are certainly not what we're looking for here. Ambergris. When you buy another aquatic item, this gains 1 value. There's also Clamra and Piranha that we can purchase after. And then if we sold them all, the Ambergris would sell for the additional value of the other ones, and then the Cove is also getting additional shielding. So I'm just going to buy these because I can sell them later for the same cost, with the upgrade of the Cove's effect. And actually,
Can I eat myself? It's not fair.
we can take this opportunity to 10 additional crit chance to Langxian. Admittedly impactful, I just don't know if I'm going to be able to win a fight with it. I'm going to go to the grab bag, get 5 small treats, which are just a bunch of items I'm going to be capable of selling and getting some scaling on our cove with. And at this point, I think I will sell the Piranha. Clamra? Yeah, I'll sell you. And the Ambergris. Dice try. Ooh, they've lost their first fight. That's pretty encouraging.
My dreams are too big for you to steal.
Oh. Okay. So, a lighter that's doing nothing on field, a yo-yo that's doing nothing, a marbles that's slowing my seaweed. Yeah, that's not... You can definitely see where they're going with this. Yo-yo, marbles. They picked up a Jabalian longbow to try and do a reasonable amount of damage while they're trying to get those together. I'm so proud of this. I'm so proud of this weapon. I honestly did not think there was a single chance that picking up a Langxian after the opening fight could ever be correct. As in, after the opening, as in, like, Vanessa's quarters, get a silver Langxian there, or don't use the weapon. That was pretty much how I was treating it. Nautica sells aquatic items. I'm going to be going for the Lost Great Golden Experience here. Ooh, Mountain Pass for the possibility of taking a fight is really difficult to turn down when that fight can scale Langxian 50 extra damage. Especially when we get Outland's Dervish, who I think is the weakest enemy of day 4, I believe. So I think we're still fighting a day up, but we're fighting their weakest. Let me just make sure I'm right on that. Yes, it's Outland's Dervish or Boiler Room Brawler are the weakest for that day. Boiler Room Brawler admittedly does have access to the energy potion that I wanted to see, but like, I'm not going to complain with getting an extra fight and the extra 50 damage scaling. How could you? Clockwork Blades, when you sell this, reduce your items cooldowns by 2%.
Another empty chest, waiting to be filled.
You have to upgrade a bronze here. I admittedly don't want to upgrade the Cove, but it is here.
Haha. Now this will inspire the crew.
And I need something to do with that space. Clockworks, 40 damage every 6 seconds. Sell it. I can definitely afford to field it right now. I am actually a reasonable amount of HP ahead by having leveled up early. So I do suspect I would be able to take out a Scout Trooper. They don't really shield that much. They can only take 3 hits from Langxian before they're dead. The real concern is that Rogue Scrapper actually has things that I want. Has the Junkyard Repair Bot and Medkit both for enhancing the effect of Seaweed. Has Scrap for enhancing the effect of Cove. Barbed Wire scales its damage there a little bit as well. Do I care about the single additional experience enough? Yes. Also, it's worth noting, Eagle Talisman, 5% crit chance, pretty good. Gunpowder, 1+ max ammo to your leftmost ammo item can be good, situationally depending. Weak point detector, when you slow, charge this 2 seconds and it gives your weapon 6 damage to the fight. I mean, if I do find a proboscis. Oh. The crits out of this bad boy. Uzi, every 2 seconds, deal 4 damage. Nice. I mean, eating contest for 150 max HP is really difficult to ignore here, especially when it gives 10 additional shielding to the Cove. The Cove is not, like, the be-all, end-all of this run. What it is is the ability to extend my life until Langxian attacks for a 4th time. That's all it fundamentally is. And all it needs to be. Kina sells non-weapon items. Middle, you sell medium items, and that could be a Star Shot or a Langxian. I mean, we're on day 3, so it's a 20% chance to find silver items. I mean, hasting adjacent items, but those are still silver as well. You know, Captain's Wheel, etc. I say Captain's Wheel, etc. I mean Captain's Wheel, full stop. Kina sells non-weapon items. That could be a nice way to find a little bit of additional shielding, healing, maybe even a seaweed. And also silencer is available in here. Holsters. At the start of each fight, your small items gain haste for 1 second. Well, that's unfortunate. I'll take ambergris and then coral. When you buy an aquatic item, it gains 3 heal. And then I'm going to be selling those later for the sake of the cove. And when I said later, I may have meant now. Actually, it's probably better to field those as just additional aquatic triggers for the sake of scaling the healing of seaweed, more than it is for selling them right now. I'll sell Cockwork Blades for the 2% cooldown reduction. And fight against Brainbot. They've missed a win and gotten a win.
I may be young for a captain, but I've seen my share of storms.
I'm gonna guess they fielded like a good weapon to try and carry them through a couple days here. Right-handed and force field? Oh, they've got Ganjo next to textiles and force field, so both of those are double dipping, getting additional heal and shield on the textiles and additional shield and damage on force field. Oh, that's pretty nasty. I'm scaling up my healing like very effectively, but eventually, they are just going to single hit kill me. And this is going to be pretty difficult to stop. Yeah. They got pretty close with that hit, and the next one is the one that's going to do it. Huge amount of healing and shielding there, and some scaling damage. That's pretty much exactly what an enemy needs to take us out at this point.
Place to store the rest of the tyrant's gold.
Ooh, Argenta, your silver tier skills include Rapid Thaw here for us. When your items gain freeze, reduce the duration by 2 seconds. Oh, Flashy Pilot, when you use a vehicle, your items gain 10% crit chance. That's wild! What? Let me just very quickly check if there's any Vanessa vehicles that, like, I would be thrilled to be running. Rowboat, no. Shipwreck doesn't activate. Flagship, completely different build. Submarine would admittedly be absolutely wild with Flashy Pilot. Anyway, we take Rapid Thaw.
We made progress today. I'm proud of you.
I'm mainly sad that I missed out on 50 damage scaling, to be frank. Finn's Big Bite. We could get 20 additional healing by base to Coral, Ambergris, and Seaweed, all, as well as some max HP.
My food is gonna make you unstoppable.
I like it. And then I'm going to go for some more max HP. 150 thereof, thank you. All of this is literally just buying me additional time for Langxian. Blood Reef Raider. Now, I don't know if this is what I'm going to want to do, but I think you have, yeah, Silver Crow's Nest. 40% additional crit chance and lifesteal. You also have right-handed and left-handed for just a little bit of additional shielding. You also have Shield Potion. Well, if this was Boiler Room Brawler, I'd be going there. But no, let's go for the Blood Reef Raider. If you give me the Crow's Nest, I can't... Who am I to deny the Crow's Nest in that position, you know? But also, a shield potion that shields us for 150 every 4 seconds, and then just putting that next to a powder horn to reload it consistently? That'll do fine by me. Wait, you don't have left-handed and right-handed anymore? Oh, wow. Bazaar is really out of date. Whoop.
Now we'll never
I mean, I said I didn't want to do it. And then the game was like, what if you did though? I mean, come on. It's the right amount of crit for us to stick with it, you know? Also, now the Cove gets to inherit the 15% reduction, so it's now 2.5 seconds. Definitely got to hit up the mountain pass and take the fight to see if we can get another Outlands Dervish. I could have taken Outlands Dervish 3 times in this fight. In this run, sorry.
The Lord of the Wastes would like
Big
you.
crit. Another 2% cooldown reduction. Thank you, Dervish. 2 for each gold weapon. Honestly, it's got to be 2 gold in the silver tier loot item. Again, 10% crit chance. We take it. I mean, unfortunately, I ruined the funny number, haha, but what I get in return is 10% crit chance. Lost crate. I think it's time to go to Quixel, especially small and medium items. I can see Star Chart, I can see Langxian, I can see Silencer, I can see Captain's Wheel.
Hi, I'm Quixel, Master Merchant.
I can see my home from here. There's Pufferfish. When you haste, charges 2 seconds. There's also Pop Snappers and Honing Steel. Every 4 seconds, give the weapon the right of this, plus 10 damage to the fight. I'm going to be re-rolling. And then regretting. We get Piranha, Bolus, and Seashell all sitting here. They're also higher level, which makes them harder to buy and sell for the same value. I'm losing 2 gold while I do that. Or rather, I'm losing 1 gold while I do that. I'm still gonna do it.
Okay, now sell me something. Something huge.
So I buy out your shop, and then I sell them all. And then I'll sell the ambergris as well. Uzi probably doesn't go back on field, but I can see a world in which something goes really strange and it manages to make its way back. 8.2 seconds for 426 damage, but it's a 79% crit chance. There's a lot of enemies that won't survive the first hit of this.
We're out to deal.
And against a lot of enemies, I won't survive until the second hit of this. So we're really hopeful here. Oh, they have the shiny fang. Full weapon dually. Ooh, that's gonna be a threat. There's our big crit. Oh. Weapon was a couple milliseconds from going off. Yeah, we were pretty evenly matched that fight. They pipped us just at the post. Middle tier to sell medium items, but the Docks event is here and I have a star chart, so I'll take my 5 gold and 1 experience, thank you. Mountain Pass, you give me another combat and we'll call it square. Sabretooth! Hello. I've been getting so many additional combats through this space that the Langxian is getting additional scaling out of them. Which, as it turns out, is very important here. It's an extra 100 damage when we crit. Ugh, bronze pelt. Literally the worst loot we could get from that fight. Upgrade your leftmost bronze or silver tier item. It's got to be the Langxian. It's got to get better scaling than this.
Keener the blade.
Also just gets 50 additional damage by base. Mod squad? I'm pretty sure I can beat you, dude. 1.2 thousand health. Not much shielding. If I strike twice, I'm pretty likely to crit on one of the hits, and that'll take them down. Yep. Also, the opportunity to get a lot more money in this fight by picking up crypto. Gold crypto as well, which is the bugged one. so it sells for a value between 0 and 25 rather than listed value of 20. Some source of haste for this Langxian needs to come into play. It's too slow. It's way too slow. It's powerful, but way too slow. There's the crypto. That's what we wanted to see. We also got up to 600 damage on our Langxian now. Keenan sells non-weapon items. The gumball machine, realistically, I would only really care about blue gumballs here, as well as buying a bunch of gumballs for the sake of the cove. But, like, non-weapon items describe almost everything I want in this build except for Langxian.
Make deals, not war.
Figurehead. Aquatic items to the left of this have their cooldown reduced by 10%. Weapons to the right have 25 additional damage. Not what we're looking for. Cannonball and Pufferfish are both here as well. Oh, crypto, I'll sell you for 20. Take a roll and oh boy.
Enough, friend. But I'm glad
Gonna be
you bought.
selling seaweed, buying seaweed, selling seaweed. Ambergris as well. Just for the 2 additional shielding on the cove, I'm gonna buy and sell the lighter here as well. Colt sells items with ammo, get a small friend. I'm gonna go to the aerodrome. I'm pretty desperate here. Mittel would be an ideal pickup. I'll take JJ, who can see all items at least.
Profit 10.
Good gosh.
Now, if that doesn't work out for you, come back for a refund.
I'll take lighter and pop snappers just to sell them for the additional value on the cove. And
So, how about this weather where... Oh, you're leaving.
still no silencer. Still no captain's wheel. Still no upgrade on the star chart. We're going to be going to the next fight with just the 8.2 second cost of Langxian. This is going to start getting way too heavy for us to carry.
You should know.
This enemy has won all of their fights except for one.
Go ahead. Underestimate me.
And it looks like their early loss, or rather it looks like their only loss was on an early day. Barrel, turtle shell, pearl, beach baller together. They're not going to be doing an incredible amount of damage, but they will scale their shielding incredibly significantly. Come on, crit him. Yep, we crit him again and took away a lot of their shielding, but now their shielding is even better. And I can no longer overcome that. I can try and keep it contained, but every 4 seconds they're gaining another 700 from the barrel. Critting constantly, but it's not going to make a difference here. Dang.
Land legs make you predictable. You move in straight lines.
I need to hit harder and faster. All in.
Do not teach. I help you discover for yourself.
Large items have 25 additional crit chance. No. When you use an item with ammo, give it 5 crit chance. No. Improvise burn. When you crit your burn items. No. Flurry of blows. First 5 times you use a weapon each fight, charge an item 1 second. That could do something. Alacrity. The first 5 times you crit each fight, charge an item 1 second. First strike. Your items have 30% additional crit chance. When you use an item, all items lose 10% crit chance for the fight. Absolutely not. We'll take Flurry of Blows.
Learn skills quickly, but it takes patience to master them.
We'll take patience for that to be a good item for our board as well. I would love to go to eating contest, but I have a lot of money and I'm very behind. I need something else. Harpoon. Destroy a small item every 6 seconds. There's also Lighthouse. When you slow, charges 1 second and a medium barrel, bronze barrel that is as well. Vanessa's Amulet. Your items have 10% additional crit chance. I'll hold on to that, especially because it's cheap and it can do a lot of stuff. But the Illuso Ray and other friend probably don't want to make it into this field. I feel like we're really potent against PvE enemies. And then as soon as we find a PvP enemy, we get gut checked. Death caps. Every 5 seconds, poison 1, and then increase the poison of your items by 1 for the fight. We're going to take the silver tier loot item, and we do get the 6% cooldown reduction. Okay, that's really impactful. Langxian's now down to a 7.8 second cooldown. Artisan Dunes. Craftsman at the Artisan Dunes. I mean, that's only 10 additional damage we can even give. Kev's Armory. Bronze Barrel is back, and admittedly, Bronze Barrel is still really good. Shielded Shoe Blade, and then finally Coral Armor. There's Submarine. And Life Preserver. First time you would die each fight, heal 1200 health. I wonder if that's better than Cove. Shield Bayonet, when you use the weapon on the left of this, deal 10 damage, and also shield 15. I think I should take Submarine as a speculative pick here. Because I definitely can't field it right now. Can I? So what? I lose my lifesteal on Langxian. But then I also have the Submarine on field dealing 25 damage and gaining shield equal to that item's damage. If it crits, because it's a single crit on item activation, so if it crits, it'll crit to do 50 damage, and then the shield also crits on top of that, so it gives 100 shield instead. I think I need a little bit more support before I want to put the Submarine rather on field, but I could totally see my way there. I mean, like, Flashy Pilot rather would have done it. Alia sells weapons, Jules Cafe, and Candy Stash. Oof. Alia.
But I can help you finish a fight.
Deadly Bayonet. The weapon on the left of this has plus 50% crit chance. I mean, let's just think about it. Let's just think about a reorganization of this board and what it would do. 50% additional crit chance. Do I think the lifesteal is ever really saving my life? Or do I just want the 50% additional crit chance? I think I just want the additional crit chance. So I'm going to take the Deadly Bayonet, giving an additional 50% crit chance to Langxian. I'll field Vanessa's Amulet. So now the Cove is up to 34% crit. Actually. Oh. No, I want the additional crit chance on the Submarine. Sorry, on Langxian. Get it all the way up to 91. Oh, we did get the Submarine upgrade. Okay. Okay. Pistol Sword's also here. When you use an item with ammo, deal 15 damage.
Go make some more stories, and come back and tell me.
I may be young for a captain.
I don't think the lifesteal's actually keeping me alive until the second swing anymore. So I need more swings. Get him, Submarine! Big crit. This enemy has significantly less scaling. They've only got the Turtle Shell and the Pearl on field. Unfortunately, significantly less scaling is still a lot of scaling for shields. And they'll be impenetrable.
I paint my ship red, but I don't.
If you have to ask the price, you can't afford it.
Andy, if you don't give me a silencer, I'm gonna lose my GD mind.
Everyone, you got it here.
The weapon on the left of this has negative 30% to its cooldown. Unfortunately, I have to have only one weapon on field when I utilize this. And now the Langxian is down to 5.5 second cooldown. That's really important. I lost the additional crit. Are we really all the way down to this now? I think we are. I mean, the only item that Langxian can charge with Flurry of Blows now is Langxian, but it also means it's also the only target my enemy can get for slow or freeze. Mountain Pass gives us a fight, thank you kindly. I need these to scale because my PvP fights aren't doing that. $75 additional damage on Langxian, and the Rivet Gun. When you use the item to the right of this, charge the item to the left of this 1 second. Unfortunately, it's a weapon, so it would take away our lifesteal. Ooh. Well. Tranquil Spring. Enchant an item with heal effects. I mean, you give that to Langxian, right? And then I can take Crow's Nest off the field? No, the cooldown from Silencer is still really important, but it means I can take Crow's Nest off the field, so I can go shielding with Cove instead. Having 1 weapon on field, Silencer. If I had scaling for it, having 1 weapon on field and it's the Submarine, and the Submarine has a Silencer next to it could totally be something. What would that even look like? Let's have a look. So, 80 damage, 25% crit chance. And it deals that 80 damage, and then you gain shield equal to it. If it crits, it deals 160, and you gain 320 shielding. Yeah, Deadly Bayonet can't be fielded here, unfortunately. It's significantly less likely to kill them. Burning Caldara, enchant item with burn effects, lifesteal, or heal. Woof. It has to be heal on Langxian. It's just no 2 ways around it. Trooper Sergeant Suds and Thug. Admittedly, Thug is dangerous, but also Thug has spices. Every 8 seconds, your weapons gain damage equal to your weakest weapon's damage for the fight. So that'd be another 781 to Langxian. And also it's spices, so I can reload it. That's an ammo item. Improvised Bludgeon. When you sell this, your leftmost slow item gets plus 2 seconds of slow. Admittedly, I should invest in getting some slow on board soon. I just would have preferred Bonk or Spices or the Thieves Guild. Working at the docks to earn some coin is not really the way I think I need to go with this. Electric Eels. When your enemy uses an item, charge this 1 second, and then there's also the Lighthouse. When you slow, charge this a second. And the Electric Eel slows, by the way. I did just say that I need a slow item on board, didn't I? What would it look like? So Electric Eels would be sitting next to the Silencer. We'd have Lighthouse and then Cove all on field? I think the only wrong play right now is to continue committing to the thing that's not working. Like, I'd love it to, and it did just get it just got faster, though! I don't want to do what I want to do. All right. Here's the game. I'm going to put the crow's nest back on field and sell the cove. I'm also going to sell the submarine. I'm also going to hold the bandage. I have 6 spaces open here. I'm going to buy the electric eels. I'm going to buy the lighthouse and roll. Oh, there's the tropical island. I'll sell improvised bludgeon while the electric eels is on field, so now it's got a greater amount of slow. I feel like the electric eels needs to have an upgrade to really be actually consistently occurring, and lighthouse is also very slow here. Like, these are ways for me to try and feast on infinites, but they need to be leveled up. Otherwise, the infinite just runs over the top of them. And then there's also tropical island. I'm gonna sell the powder flask and the deadly bayonet here.
Gold becomes goods, then returns to gold.
Tropical island is way too important. Just move a space and get a bunch of additional HP or regen for it? Absolutely. Grandmaster sells skill upgrades. That's what I'm looking for. Flurry of blows. First 5 times use a weapon each fight. Charge an item 2 seconds. With no other items on board that can be used, that's the crow's nest and cove swap, rather. The restorative luncheon goes off after 5.5 seconds, and then 3.5 seconds later, it goes off again. If it can't work now, it won't. I mean, if it can't work against a sad Magikarp who's totally exhausted all of the PP on Splash and is just struggling in this fight, then it won't. Alright, it worked. It didn't even have to get to its second hit. Alright. I just realized how hard the road is gonna be to hoe uphill. I guess. I mean, that can't be. Okay. That coconut doesn't exist. The game is just telling me it's there, but it's wrong. JJ, you sell items. I gotta see if I can find an upgrade for my Silencio. There's another code for us. Submarine's back. No, thank you on these. Clamra. No, again, I need my only act available on board to be Langxian so that it can fire effectively twice in, like, if it's 3.5 seconds after that, it's twice in 9 seconds. If I can find a way to give it a haste trigger, especially without having to put another item on board, my god, the value. Zara teaches haste and charge skills. C4 teaches ammo skills, and Old Zane teaches Vanessa unique skills. Vanessa unique skills tend to be based around aquatic items. Langxian's not an aquatic item. So we're gonna go for the haste and charge skills here.
But it's the other way around.
Crashing waves. When you use an aquatic item, haste a weapon for 1 second. So now we're suddenly back in the position where I really do want to have an aquatic item on field. Okay, I need to relog here. That slot is bugged. Unfortunately, the cove is gone. That was my aquatic item.
The key to moving faster is seeing around the distance.
Okay. Crashing waves is definitely one of the best things that I can find here.
Don't travel from point A to B. Just be there.
Racetrack for a haste item or street festival. I'm gonna go for the haste item. Sextant, every 4 seconds, haste an item for 3 seconds. Adjacent items have 15% crit chance, and when you crit, charges 1 second. Perfect. Absolutely
Throw some
perfect.
things overboard.
I'm gonna sell Vanessa's amulet because I need a spot for the tropical island to be flushing out into. So this is a second activatable on field, but when it activates, it hastes not only an item, but it also hastes Langxian because it has to haste a weapon because it's an aquatic item being used. It's got to be Cosmic Rock. Cooldown reductions available here. There is also Cosmic Wind. When you crit, haste an item for 1 second. And considering we care about crit and we haste consistently, that seems pretty impactful.
Waste of gunpowder.
Take Cosmic Amulet there. When it gains haste, our weapons gain crit chance for the fight. Not relevant to us, but thank you. All sells weapons. The upgrade on Langxian isn't as likely as I would like. I'm gonna go to the aerodrome and roll a couple of times. And he sells small items. I mean, the Silencer upgrade isn't as likely as I would like, but it is as impactful as I would like. Curio! Bronze tier neutral items. Thank you. Cooldown reduction.
Just a matter of finding it.
We find some immediately. Insect Wing, 3%.
20 years waiting for you. Well, you're doing your part to clean up the bazaar.
I'll give it 5 additional damage as well, especially because that's 10 additional damage after it crits, which it will.
Warms my rusty circuits to see that find home.
Heck, I'll do the same with a medkit.
Reuse everything.
Oh, wow. Rocket Boots. Haste adjacent items 1 second. When you sell this, give your leftmost haste item 1 additional second of haste. There's also Eagle Talisman, another 2% crit reduction.
Been sitting there 20 years.
And there's Proboscis. When you slow charge this 1 second. I'm probably not going to field that, but I don't know.
Now that's a bargain.
What if I did?
Warms my rusty circuits to see that find home.
I unfortunately don't have the space to buy and sell Rocket Boots. Oh, and Proboscis. When you use an aquatic item, haste a weapon for a second. Proboscis would need a bunch of upgrades, so would Electric Eels and Lighthouse. Okay, it doesn't go on this field at all. Alright, Curio, thank you very much for your help here. That was a lot of cooldown reduction. The Langxian's down to 5.3. You simply love to see it. Nautica sells aquatic items, scrap salvage, Jules Cafe. Yeah, I really do want to see some items.
in your hair look like seaweed. So cute.
Aquatic ones are probably the ones I'm least excited for. And I can't say seeing a flagship Coral Armor or Narwhal has changed that opinion. There's the turtle shell and pearl. Time for the pivot. That is an excellent way for me to lose. 40% crit chance taken off of Langxian. I don't think there's ever a world where Turtle Shell and Pearl work significantly enough for us that I run like a half Turtle Shell Pearl board and a half Langxian build.
May the tides bring you back.
You should know, I'm a bit
I mean-
legend on Pelago.
Someone with only 3 wins at this point in the game who's already taken their fate. Oh, you've got rigged, so you're gonna start out faster, and you got the Mama Saw. Uh-oh. My launcher! No! It's the only item of mine you couldn't eat. Oh! Well, alright then. Looks like we'll be getting a random enchantment. Poison. Ooh, that's bad. I'm gonna give it to the star chart because it will immediately poison them at the start of the fight. And now if I can find a freeze based on poisoning, I'll be able to slow the enemy down as well. 2 gold and gold tail loot item. We end up with the scrap, unfortunately.
This is why I wear red, so the crew won't see me bleed.
Tox clocks, haste, slow down, haste, slow down, and cool items. You sell cool items? Tripwire for charging to hit the enemy with slow. I don't think I have enough to really affect anything, even with the lighthouse. Robot, haste your small items 1 second. Holsters, no thank you. Heavy torpedo, and a bunch of slow items that we can't field. Gives armory, health, toughness, and shield items. I really feel like I'm just going to go for a small non-weapon item here. Because health, toughness, and shield items are not the ones we're looking for our board. Bloodreef Captain, do you, perchance, gold crow's nest in that shop? Cooldown reduction could be cool. 10% cooldown reduction on offer if we get the best result from there. Elite Duelist, you have spices, although it's pretty tough to field spices again at this point. Enclave Revenant has Shadowed Cloak. Well, that's significant. But it also has 4 experience, and if I move 1 space, I get another experience, so I could get all the way to 13 here. See, after the Langxian gets to go off, it goes really well. It just needs to get to go off the first time. Exposing toxins. When you poison, your items gain 2% crit chance for the fight. I'll take it. Upgrade your leftmost item. I mean, it's got to be the silencer for additional cooldown reduction. The speed of the first Langxian hit is the only thing that really matters right now. Finn's big bite for max HP, please. 234, as well as 5 regen. That'll help keep us going. And he sells small items, and those are the items I care about the absolute least. I'm gonna go to a gumball machine. And then socket the silencer here, so that I can just buy and sell, and buy and sell, and buy and sell, and buy and sell, and buy and sell. Mainly looking for the blue gumballs, but I'll accept red. Uh-oh. A duelie that hasn't lost a fight since day 1.
We're out to dethrone a king, not to squabble.
Best of luck, Langxian. I will go down with this ship, and I won't put my hands up and surrender. There will be no white flag above my door. That's why Dido knew I was going to beat the absolute living hell out of this ballista, this deadly ballista build with Langxian. They said it could be done. They said this run would never get a single chest. Well, I showed them all. King sells no weapon items. Why don't you upgrade one of the ones I have? Oh, I'll collect the lighthouse, sure. That's just a fun thing I'm doing in the background. It's not related to my build at all, unless it ends up being. Maybe. Upgrade electric eels and then we'll talk. Admittedly, I probably also need a skill that would actually help me out here. Shrouded Figure, that's experience. It's really hard to turn that down. Even though snack time is there, the experience also translates to max HP. Because you level up, you see. Lord Arkin, Lord Arkin, you have batteries. You have batteries. You have a battery. Charge the item to the left of this 4 seconds, says that battery. I would absolutely utilize that.
Your pitiful appearance was a trick.
Thrusters. Adjacent items have their cooldowns reduced by 12%. I'll buy it, but I can't move much forward before I address it. Adira teaches Diamond tier skills. Admittedly, Shield Bash changes this run instantly. Shield Bash means that Langxian, if my enemy starts infiniting, just bops the enemy in the face constantly until they die about it.
If you know you are the best, is not humility a deception?
Glass Cannon. Both players' weapons have double damage. Knife Tricks. When you use a weapon, reduces cooldown by 5% for the fight, and there's Shield Bash. When your enemy uses a non-weapon item, charge a weapon 1 second. At this point, I am now certain that Electric Eels and Lighthouse is not the play. The speed of the Langxian is the most impactful thing here. If I put thrusters on the field and put it adjacent to the Langxian, the silencer still causes the effect of if you have exactly one weapon, reduce its cooldown by 40%. The thrusters gets its 12% reduction. The Toxic Star Chart gets its 15% reduction. Langxian's all the way down to activating in 4 seconds. However, I have to lose Sextant from the field. So I lose my haste. I think haste actually makes it ultimately faster. Because 4 seconds, 3.9 seconds into the fight, Sextant gives Langxian the ability to just hit at double speed constantly. So for the first resolution, thrusters is faster. For the second and on resolution, Sextant is much faster. Anyway, it's Shield Bash. It's Shield Bash. It's obviously Shield Bash.
You are a quick study.
I'm so glad Shield Bash is here to save me because good lord!
Ah, a friend. I mean, a customer.
This is exactly as long as I could wait. Not a single second longer. Cannonade, when you use a weapon, charges 1 second. Bayonet and Whamrod. Nope, I need the only weapon that's going to be charged to be my Langxian, please.
Cut out for business.
I'll take some extra max HP. Two gold for each weapon. Gold tier loot item, of course. 2 experience. I mean, I'm going to quickly sell an item before I take the 2 experience, just in case it immediately spawns a coconut or citrus afterwards. It didn't. Majorian. Come on! Come on! Come on! Start using Pearl. Oh, it'll absolutely start using a Pearl.
We're out.
You have no clue how fast a Langxian can be.
Nobody.
Oh, that's a Pearl build.
Defeat does not defeat me.
Defeat does not defeat me. It merely makes me faster. You tried to freeze all of my stuff, but we have Rapid Thaw. The freeze was courtesy of Petrifying Gaze. Freeze all enemy items in 1 second when you fall below half health. They didn't even manage to get their Radiant Shark Ray off. They just charged my Langxian to hit him in the face 3 times. It crit appropriately, and they died accordingly. I was so close to pivoting out of the Langxian build, you have no clue. I was so close to pivoting myself directly into the grave. But just then is when Langxian decided to see the light. Middle, you're selling medium items. You could sell me the cooldown reduction.
I'll help you find who does.
Or Langxian's upgrade. I'd take Langxian's upgrade, why not?
I used to offer
An extra 100 damage?
but people thought it was weird.
There's a cannon and a weather glass here. We'll ignore those as we roll. Astrolabe. Haste a non-weapon item for 2 seconds. When you use another non-weapon item, charges 2 seconds. Anyway, it's not going to be taken. It's not even an aquatic item. It can't haste my Langxian. I mean, I already know that we can take out Lord Arkin, but now we have Shield Bash. So it's going to be a little more embarrassing for him.
You have started a war today.
No, Lord Arkin, I have ended a war today. Battery. Charge the item left of this 4 seconds. Ooh. Well, see, that's a problem. It's like... this... The thing is, battery needs to be able to charge the item to the left of it, which means the adjacency that I just freed up for thrusters to be able to use immediately needs to be lost to battery instead. I do think battery wants to be on this board. I think it could even have the cooldown reduction from thrusters. Is that actually better? Maybe if I can find a better slot rather than thrusters there, it would be better, but I don't think it is. I think we still basically end up resolving at the same speed. Because unless I have Sexton on board, I have no haste. I don't have any aquatic items, so I'm not causing haste from crashing waves. I don't have Sextant itself, which is causing haste. So I guess the thing that most impacts the fight, well, I mean, admittedly, getting the Langxian to crit 100% of the time is probably the most impactful thing. So getting the Crow's Nest one more level, honestly, probably is what we should be doing. Time to go for some Gumbles. Oh, 3 blues? Although I don't really care about blues anymore, right? We finally got all of our crit on board. More cooldown reduction from Curio, perhaps. Yeah, 110% on Langxian.
Well, howdy, hero.
Curio hits.
Well, you're doing
Rocket
your
boots,
part.
magnifying glass.
Bazaar.
We can sell the rocket boots for additional haste on Sextant. That's honestly not relevant, but we do it. Magnifying glass, and then feather for 2% cooldown reduction globally.
Trash is tragedy.
I'll take the spike buckler for 4 more damage on Langxian. 5% crit chance, 3% cooldown reduction, some max HP, some regen, a little bit more damage.
Warms my rusty circuits to see that find a home.
All the way down to 4.4 seconds. Admittedly, it does feel like that could have been significantly more dramatic. Taco Farmer. Come on, Infinite. Come on, Infinite build. I'm ready to punch you in the face a bunch of times. Are you ready to be punched in the face a bunch of times? That's the question we should be... They have an Infinite. They have... Sorry, the Shield Bash for the Infinite blocking. Uh-oh. They've got a very, very slow Beast of Burden. I did manage to regenerate between its hits and kill them faster than their Obsidian Regal Blade could heal them back up. With very few items on the board, it's very difficult for my enemy. How are they going to trigger Shield Bash? I've only got 2 items. Eating contest versus Kina for non-weapon items. I gotta still... The Toxic Star chart is... It's too impactful to ignore. Figurehead for... stats and things I don't need. Ooh, Diamond Tier Lighthouse. That's so far from what I put on field. Also just very expensive. Zara teaches Hasten's hasten charge. I mean, admittedly, Professor Wriggle is the most likely to teach me the freeze an enemy on poison, and poison happens at the start of the fight. But if I get a haste enchant, then I'm going to give that to the star chart, because then the star chart immediately at the start of fight hastes multiple items on my board, which would mean the Langxian would have perma-haste. So taking Wriggle then locks me out of doing that later. Whereas going to Zara for haste and charge skills...
The body powers the mind, but it's the other way around.
First time you haste each fight, rather, freeze an item for 4 seconds. At the start of each fight, haste an aquatic item for 6 seconds. So that means Sextant activates 1.9 seconds into the fight. And when it does, it hastes the Langxian, which makes Langxian's first trigger a little bit faster.
Space and time are only suggestions, and we can ignore them.
Languid dunes. Enchant item with slow effects. Okay. First off, Sextant. Slows a single item for 2 seconds. Okay, whatever. Crow's Nest. When you crit with an item, when you crit with a weapon, rather, slow a single item for 4 seconds. Star Chart. That's what we're looking for. Star Chart at the start of the fight slows 3 items for 4 seconds. That's going to be dramatically more impactful than the poison on the Star Chart. And again, I'll still pivot out of that for haste. This is all just about me having a faster resolution than the enemies.
Pathetic, as spineless as a jellyfish.
The additional damage on this Langxian is so good. Gold tier or diamond tier loot item. This is the one that's bugged. I've got to take it though, because it's... because it'd be really good if I got cooldown reduction. I didn't. And I didn't get the bug, to be fair. Sell it for 10 additional damage. Tiny Cutlass. 2 Citrus for 6 regen. I'm going to take Shrouded Figure here for experience. Getting to level 19 is deeply important in this game. Buying another weapon isn't relevant to us at this point, so I'm just going to get almost 1,000 more max HP so that I can survive longer into the next fight. And it's Fate Lyrics, another Vanessa we're going to be fighting. Perfect amount of regeneration. Let's go!
I may be young for a captain, but I've seen my share of storms.
Okay. Oh, they've got a heavy ice cream truck. They're freezing for a long time. It freezes for 4 seconds when it activates. Thankfully, I take 2 seconds off of that immediately with my Rapid Thaw, which is exactly what it took for me to get out of that fight. Oh boy. I saw their freezing related skill and I was wondering if they would actually have anything to activate it. And yeah, a heavy ice cream truck. So when they use another non-weapon item, they charge it a second. It freezes a single item for 4 seconds. Rapid Thaw was doing incredible work. Without Rapid Thaw, I just get permafrozen and I lose that fight. Honestly, without heavy star charts slowing down their first resolutions, that might have still happened. Of course, one really good thing is while your item is frozen, Shield Bash, in fact, all charge mechanics, still work while it's frozen. They don't cause the item to trigger, but they'll get it all the way right up until it's about to trigger. And then as soon as it unfreezes, it immediately fires. Very useful part of that build. I mean, honestly, is it Gumballs or is it just get a Sharpening Kit? Because Sharpening Kit is more money for me, as well as 10 damage. Which, like, what else do I want from Langxian at this point, right? Well, this is a toughie. Guardian's Gorge, enchanted item with shield effects. What even would Crow's Nest do with that? When you crit with a weapon, shield 40. Ugh. Celestial Conduit. Admittedly, the Langxian already has lifesteal from Crow's Nest. preventing it from being able to be slowed, frozen, or destroyed is probably the most impactful change I can make to it. It's nice to have 2 sources of lifesteal when you have to give one of them away. And he sells small items. I really can't think of the small item that's going to want to make me field battery instead of sexton in this position. I'm going to go grab my max HP and be happy about it. Realistically, what I'm looking for at this point is another opportunity to go to a skill vendor. Shield Bash only triggers off of non-weapon item usage, which is pretty evident in this fight, where the enemy doesn't use it at all.
We barely got our flags up.
Hyperfocus. If you have only one medium item, its cooldown is reduced by 30%. Alright. Well. Vermeer Bjorn's here too. Anyway, I'll be taking Zara.
You can think yourself faster.
When you use an aquatic item, haste a weapon. See, the thing about this is, if I took Sextant and Heavy Star Child off the field, the Langxian gets its 30% cooldown reduction. Yeah, so now it's down to 3.6 seconds. And it doesn't need the silencer adjacency. I'd have to take mediums off field, so I can get my 12% cooldown reduction from thrusters and then put a battery on field. And then suddenly the Langxian is activating in 3.2 seconds. Now, what this build is really missing is some aquatic items so that I get haste on the Langxian as well. None of these really provide what I'm looking for, though. Invigorating Cold. The first time you freeze each fight, haste your items for 5 seconds. There's also Oceanic Rush upgrade, and Lefty Lucy, when you use your leftmost item, haste an item for 1 second. I cannot make Radiant, or rather my Langxian, my leftmost item here. I can make Thrusters my leftmost item. Invigorating Cold is definitely better if I can activate it, but I have no freeze. I'd have to find another skill vendor in order to get that freeze off the ground. I'm going to take Lefty Lucy.
And all measurements are imaginary.
Chrono sells haste items. Why don't you show me one?
Ready to pick up the pace?
A Turbo Port is Turbo Cutlass and Arbalist. I'm not looking for another weapon, though. Turbo Vanessa's Amulet. At the start of fight, haste 2 items for 4 seconds. So Turbo Nesting Doll. At the start of each day, this gains 2 max ammo. I mean, I'll take the Turbo Vanessa's Amulet. And Turbo Nesting Doll? Do I? I think it does less for me than not having the Turbo Nesting Doll, to be frank. Kina sells non-weapon items. I'm looking for an aquatic, and I'm looking for a 1 slot. Dock lines. Every 4 seconds, slow 3 items for 3 seconds. I'd have to lose Turbo Vanessa's Amulet, though, but Turbo Vanessa's Amulet is so good! Hasting items at the start of the fight. Oh, no. Dock lines is medium. I can't field it. Sorry, did I not focus on this? I should have. Hyperfocus. If you have only one item, one medium item, sorry, its cooldown is reduced by 30%. That's why we are trying to pivot so heavily here. Because, you know, Turbo Starchart and Sextant were about trying to make Langxian faster, but taking them off board now makes Langxian faster. So they'll make that sacrifice. Holsters. At the start of each fight, your small items gain haste for 2 seconds. Admittedly, giving the battery haste in this position is actually sick as hell. Spyglass is here, but unfortunately I can't field it because of the whole Langxian thing. I'll take a wanted poster and hold that in my inventory. Get rid of the sextant, take the wanted poster.
Enough, friend. But I'm glad you bought this.
isn't with you. But if you insist...
Ooh, big build. That's gonna be some dinosaurs, right? No! It's a shiny crane with 3 times multi-strike? I'm so glad I killed them instantly. That thing would have ruined me. Oh my god, they had Iceberg to freeze me, but they can't freeze the Langxian, and also I thought what they were doing, so I stopped them. I'm kidding. I throw my items out. I gotta make sure that I have a item on the leftmost. There we go. Yeah. So that'll be thrusters, so that I can activate Lefty. Lefty Lucy was not the best pickup in retrospect, but it wasn't up against much better pickups there for us. I feel like we nosedived all the way right down until we were just scraping blades of grass against the bottom of our fuselage. And then managed to pull it all the way back around. Bakun, medium and large items. Not really the kinds of things I'm interested in. Honestly, I'm interested in money. I don't have much of that right now, and I would like to have some of much of that. Sell the grenade and spare change. That's still only low quality spare change, so I'm gonna go to the aerodrome and just see what you got. All right, Goldie, sell me a gold tier item. Holsters for a 3rd second of haste on my small items. Admittedly, yeah. It's probably one of the more impactful upgrades I can make at this point. Getting the battery to haste until Langxian is finished, it's relevant. Cooldown reduction, and unfortunately we only get, or hunting for cooldown reduction, unfortunately we don't get it. We only get some more regen, the same kind of regen that I get for free from Topical Island.
Let's release our joy and rage. Your strength is beautiful.
Absolutely got him. Shoeblade is some money for me, basically. And admittedly, I do need that. Can sell medium items for additional value to Midsworth. I could get rid of my star chart there, and honestly, I probably should.
Grand Society Master Merchants welcomes you.
Damn. When you use another aquatic item, charge this 1 second. Destroy this and all smaller items for the fight. By the time the dam goes off, absolutely I should have killed him with Langxian already, or else already I'm dead. I don't have many aquatic items to trigger this. There's a bunch of reasons not to run it. But the idea of being able to run this next to a radiant weapon is hilarious. Something that it can't destroy. Shipwreck, your aquatic items have +1 multicast. Again, it's a nightmare that the radiant is, or rather the Langxian is not.
Not too big, not too small.
An aquatic item here. Come on, can't I just give it the aquatic tag, please? To experience all the way up to level 22, another upgrade on another item. Honestly, cooldown reduction from thrusters is probably the next most impactful. Gets that all the way up to 15%. The Langxian's now attacking in 3.1.
Go ahead, underestimate me. It makes this more fun.
Come on! Come on, Hat Pearls, do it! Oh no. Both players' weapons have double damage. All right. I think mine's faster. It was. It absolutely was. Pixels, small and medium items. I mean, it's really difficult at this point to pay 10, knowing that I'm only getting 150 max HP out of it. But I still have to do it because it's the most value I can get in position. So what else am I gonna do? Not do it? That's insane. Grandmaster sells skill upgrades. A 3rd second of freeze removal. Admittedly, I think I have enough. I don't think Lefty Lucy upgrade is where I need to be. I think a 3rd second of haste removal, a 3rd second of freeze removal rather, is dramatically more impactful for us. So now a lot of
Objective failed.
a lot of skills that on their base level only freeze an item for 3 seconds now don't. They don't work. Icicle, at the start of each fight, freeze an item for 6 seconds. Admittedly, that is an incredibly powerful thing for us to possibly field. Rukon teaches weapon skills. Wriggle. I'm gonna go to Bjorn. Do you have Invigorating Cold?
Atoms don't move at all. Is that slow enough?
I mean, he does, but does he have it in stock? Creeping Chill, the first time you slow each fight, freeze an item. No. Frostfire, the first time you burn each fight, freeze an item. Frozen Flames, when you gain freeze, burn 16. No thank you, I roll. There's Invigorating Cold. First time you freeze each fight, haste your items 2 seconds. Guess what? Icicle freezes at the start of the fight. Holsters is currently hasting my small items for 3 seconds. That's all it can target. However, I mean, look, Frozen Shot could allow me to freeze some of my enemy items. No, it's not as relevant as Invigorating Cold. The first time you freeze each fight, literally at the very start of the fight, haste your items for 2 seconds.
Yes, goodbye.
And also, this helps me justify fielding Icicle in the first place, which freezes an item for 6 seconds. We go to the Monster Ranch, and we're looking for cooldown reduction. We find it in spades. I'll take my 6%. Finn's Big Bite, percentage max HP is incredible right now. 730 out of that. 740, actually. Man. This tropical island is single-handedly responsible for at least, like, 95 of my regen. And if we assume that it has the same chance to give me a coconut or a citrus, and I guess that 96 is the number because it needs to be divisible by 3. That's 32? 32 citruses we picked up. So assuming that's also 32 coconuts, that's... what? Almost 1,000 HP? 960 that the tropical island is solely responsible for.
But can we get moving?
And also the regen, important to note. Incredible. Lobster XL. It's you or me, buddy. It's gonna be one of us. I hope it's me. We're both on our last life. We're both one win away from the win.
You do see these tusks, right?
I see an infinite on board. I don't see cooldown reduction removal. And I do see a dead pig. We did it. Woo! Oh, I was terrified that wasn't going to work. The entire run, I was terrified this was just not going to be enough, but it absolutely was. Also, just like cobbling together all of these other items, including a thrusters and battery off class. The silencer tech where it's not sitting next to the weapon, a 3-second cooldown on a Langxian that is perma-hasted the entire fight. It gets haste from the very start, and it gets enough other sources of haste that it wins before the enemy does. Shield bash as well. Obviously incredibly important to this. Couldn't be happy with this run. We made some pivots back and forth. And when I say pivots back and forth, what I mean is I mentally made those pivots. I collected items for them. I theorized whether or not I would do them, and then I discarded them so that I could focus on the Langxian. And it worked out. Also, hyperfocus. The cooldown reduction of hyperfocus. Absolutely incredible. Well, my name's Rhapsody, I gotta say. That's been the collection of 3 chests as Vanessa. Incredible return. Ooh, you even get to level up our rank here. Incredible return on a free ticket. For the moment. Oh, hang on. Just before I stop, I'll also say that if you are watching this video live on the day that it came out, if you're watching this video on the day that it came out, check the description down below. At the very top, you will find my stream hours. I might be live right now. It's not unlikely. So check that out. And come tune into the stream if you should like. But for the moment, let me say my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been The Bazaar. Top left is the series playlist for all other content on the game, past, present, and future. YouTube recommendations down below. Streaming past and the names of the people so generously supporting the Republic on patreon.com/RhapsodyPlays. At above the thank tier. And a special thanks this episode to Disney Meow. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you all next time.